So yun, good evening sa mga nanonood dyan sa Philippines and good morning here in the US. This is again PT Meal Podcast Live, your live serving of um, anything physical therapy. If you're not familiar with PT Meal Podcast, we talk about topics relating to physical therapy profession and practice from different opinions and experiences and expertise of Filipino physical therapists. Nilaway ko. So this today we are doing a live episode. If you would before that, sorry, hindi ako sanay sa ganito. So before that, for those who are not familiar with PT Meal Podcast, we can be support. It's sorry. Wala ako. So you can listen to PT Meal Podcast in YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and anywhere you want to listen to in any podcast app. So please subscribe, review, rate us, and leave us a comment. Tell us what you like about the podcasts and what topics you want to listen to in the future. And if you could follow or like or share us in our social media, we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So nandun kami, ako, lahat sa ano na yan, sa social media na yan. So if you haven't followed the podcast yet, please do so and support the podcast. It really does mean a lot to me na na nandiyan kayo para sumuporta and to tell me if you want any topics that you want to talk about or you want someone to be a guest in the podcast. So shoot me a comment or a message. So uh, let's go on to the topic for today's live. Home care physical therapy rates in the Philippines. It's a common question. Magkano ang rate ng home care pag nagko-home care sa Philippines, no? Um, sa forum, nandiyan yan yung mga tanong na yan. Sa mga kilala natin na gusto mag-home care as a racket or side hustle, karaniwan tinatanong yan. Here in the US, meron kasing malaki kasing data about, home care, salary in general and rates of physical therapy. So kung pupunta ka dito sa US, meron kang data to research on if you want to know how much a physical therapist earn in a certain state or in a certain county or a certain city. Kunwari, you have a job interview in LA or New York or Dallas or Houston and you want to know, you want to be ready sa interview na how much you can negotiate dun sa sa employer. So would be employer. So you would research, how much is the average salary of physical therapist in that area. So maraming data nandun dito. So not just the state, not just the city or county, meron ding data on what do you call this, settings. So average salary of a PT in a hospital, average salary of a PT in home care, average salary of PT in a nursing home, average PT in travel physical therapy. So meron na tayong question dito. Sabi ni Lionel, home care is also considered as travel PT din po ba? Hindi. So, travel physical therapy is different from home care physical therapy here in the US. Home care or home health. Home health dito. So, travel physical therapy. Medyo sa segue tayo pero maganda yung question eh. Home health physical therapy ay ikaw yung pumupunta sa bahay ng mga pasyente mo. So wala kang physical office. Mayroon kayong physical office pero hindi mo dadalhin yung pasyente doon. So ikaw pupunta doon sa bahay nila. Magda-drive ka at pupunta ka sa mga bahay nila. So you can be designated to a certain area or pwedeng malaking area mo. So, yun ang home health. Ang travel PT naman, ito yung ikaw ay i-assign sa isang lugar na pwede kang ma-assign sa isang hospital, pwede kang ma-assign sa nursing home, pwede kang ma-assign as a home health PT. Pero ang kaya siya travel kasi you're only there at a certain contract for like 13 weeks or 3 months or 6 months. So, pagkatapos ng contract mo na yon, aalis ka na, lilipat ka na sa ibang clinic ulit. So, kaya siya traveling kasi hindi ka napipirme sa isang facility. So, nag-gets ba yung difference? So, pag travel PT ka, pwede kang i-assign kahit saan. Pwede kang mapunta sa kahit saan. Ang kinagandahan naman nun, pag travel PT ka, pag hindi ka magsasawa sa isang lugar. Kasi pag natapos ka na sa isang kontrata mo doon, lilipat ka na at makaka-explore ka pa. So, yun yung difference nun. Pag home health ka naman, nakastay ka sa isang facility, pero ikaw ang pumupunta sa mga pasyente mo. Okay. So, I hope nasagot ko yung tanong mo, Lionel. So, yun. So, sa Philippines, walang kasing gumagawa ng, I think, walang gumagawa ng market research, if I'm not mistaken. Sabihin niyo sa akin kung meron. Pero, parang wala ni third party or with our organization, PPTA, I think there is no study on how much home care physical therapists charge. So, I think, I hope this would be a start na conversation na sana merong gumagawa ng ganito, ng market research on physical therapy rates in each setting sa Philippines. Mapa-school man yan, hospital, outpatient, or home care. Para naman we have an idea on how much our physical therapists earn. Pare-pareho ba? Iba-iba ba? Certain location ba? Certain settings? May ganon. So sana this would invoke, studies from schools or research groups. Okay. So I did a very informal survey through Facebook last June 31st, I think. I launched it there and lasted for 2 weeks. So I was hoping that I could get a lot of respondents from different rehab professionals, physical therapists, occupational therapists, SLPs, and coaches para ma-compare natin kung are we on the same boat or are there any differences in our practices. So sadly, hindi tayo nakakuha ng ganong karaming respondents from the other professions. Actually, hindi rin naman tayo nakakuha ng masyadong maraming respondents, period. So, 264 people answered the survey. 12 of them were from the other professions. So, hindi ko na sila isasali dun sa presentation ng results natin ngayon. Okay? So, let's begin. Okay, let me begin. Okay. So, let's talk about the demographics first. So, sa mga respondents, there's 252 physical therapists. Most of them are between the ages 21 to 29 years old. They make up 65% of the respondents, and most of them are female. Okay. So, okay, almost all of them have bachelor's degree as their highest educational degrees, and a lot of them have 3 to 5 years of experience. And next is people who have between 5 to 10 years of experience. So dapat, nabago ko yata to, dapat 6 to 10. So anyway, most of the respondents are have experience between 3 and 10 years. So nandun karamihan ng mga respondents natin. Okay. So in terms of practice settings, most of our respondents came from have a full-time job of in a general hospital or acute care and home care. So other respondents came from outpatient, then they do part-time or side hustling, freelance work, private practice, academe, sports, specialty hospital, school-based, and non-clinical. So karamihan ng na sumagot na sa ating survey ay from general hospital or doing home care full-time. So I think for each of them, merong 73 respondents for hospital and home care. 73 then 73. And the rest, medyo mababa na. Okay. So location-wise, medyo hindi talaga siya equal kasi what do you call this? Uh, Kinategorize ko siya in 4 groups. If you remember yung mga sa noontime shows, di ba yung mga pag may mga contest, pumupunod sila sa mga piles ng Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, and NCR. So kaya ko siya ginroup sa ganyan. So karamihan ng mga ng sumagot ng survey for that 2 weeks came from NCR, then Luzon, then a few of them from Visayas and Mindanao. So hindi natin masyadong ma-justify siguro yung or makakita ng clear picture about Visayas and Mindanao kasi medyo konti lang yung mga nakuha nating respondents. Okay. Alright. So, sorry, I was just checking if meron nag-message. Okay, going back. Alright. So, ito na yung ano natin, question natin about home care, physical therapy. So, gaano katagal ang ginugugol ng isang physical therapist sa session nila sa Philippines in their, evaluation and treatment. Dito kasi, I thought of this question kasi dito sa US, when we talk about home health rates, mas malaki ang bayad sa physical therapist during the first session. Kasi maraming mahaba yung paperworks for start of care and evaluation eh. Well, especially start of care. Kasi you you ask a lot of their history and you take their medication and stuff like that. So medyo malaki nga yung bayad for start of care. So I was just curious kung magkaiba rin ba yung rates ng magkaiba yung time na ginugugol din ng mga tao sa Philippines about comparing evaluation and treatment visits. So in evaluation, a little over half of the respondents say they spend between 30 minutes to an hour doing evaluation and a bit quarter for each. So sa more than an hour, 26%, less than 30 minutes, 23%. So medyo nagulat ako dito kasi parang ano yung makukuha mo sa evaluation mo in doing it less than 30 minutes. Pero I was told, nung ino-open up ko to sa isang colleague ko, she said that pwede rin kasing sa tingin ng patient at ni physical therapist ay na-evaluate na si patient ng doctor at clear na ang everything, red flags, yellow flags, and all. Kaya ready na for physical therapy. At ang ginagawa na lang sa physical therapy evaluation would be what the physical therapists need. So probably range of motion, pain scale, muscle strength, functional and gait assessment or whatever. So that lessens the time spending in evaluation. So pwede nga rin naman yon, no, na parang nabawasan na yung trabaho ng PT to do evaluation, nakapag-concentrate na siya sa PT-specific assessment. Pero I was thinking kasi if you're doing evaluation, you should be able to discuss your plan of care with your patient. So medyo matagal dapat na usapan yun kasi you discuss your rehab plan, you discuss your treatment plan, you discuss your goals and how the patient would reach that and what the patient should know. So parang siguro follow up dito if someone would make a study, siguro pwedeng itanong kung bakit kaya why do they spend this much time or this less time during evaluation and treatment. So it's a treatment part naman, as you can see, more than half said that they spend more than an hour with the patient. So I guess it would say na parang si patient would feel na mas sulit yung PT, bayad nila sa PT, pag matagal yung oras nila kasama yung PT. So parang feeling nila baka mabarat sila or malugi sila kung masyado namang mabilis yung PT, parang wala namang use yung bayad nila, no? So I feel doon nanggagaling, kaya maraming nagsabi na they spend more than an hour. So okay, siguro as a follow-up din, maganda rin itanong dito kung ano yung typical cases that they handle in their physical therapy home care session. Is it neuro? Is it more musculo? Or is it more cardio? Or, does the treatment duration change with cases? So yung magandang itanong with this kinds of data. Okay. Pero at least they, walang nagsuspend ng less than 30 minutes. Sometimes kasi, I would spend like 15-20 minutes in treatment if the patient, is more functional or more able. Kasi what you want to do with treatment is, for me lang what you want to do in your treatment is you just want to review if they understood the exercises that you provided, if they're executing the exercises correctly, and if they are ready to do or progress the exercises that you had, then yun na yung gagawin nyo. So, hindi mo siya uulit-ulitin every time, di ba? Parang, that's for me. Kaya, pwede siguro mas mabilis. Kung wala namang issues about the past HEP, pwede ka na mag-progress. Pwede mo nang i-progress to a more challenging HEP. Tapos, you discuss the correct execution. Tapos, and then that's it. Pag more functional, for me, pag more functional, mas mabilis mong matuturo eh. So, that would take, 15-20 minutes? Depending on the case as well. So, yun. So, yung maganda yung mga itanong kung may gagawa ng mga ganitong study or questions. Okay. Ito na. How much is a typical base rate for home care physical therapy? So, I was thinking, nung tinanong ko yung base rate, ano na? Tama ba? Ayan. Dito muna tayo, our respondents. The rate that they think or they have in mind without considering other factors. So magkano talaga yung charge nila? Okay. So this is all respondents, all 252 of them. Okay. 46.4% said that during evaluation, they charge between 501 to 1,000 pesos. Okay? So that's a lot, medyo 50% na. Then, yung next na marami ay between 1,001 and 1,500 pesos. Next is 500 or less, may 10%. And next would be 1,501 to 2,000. So medyo surprised ako dito. Kasi I thought na medyo konti na yung magcha-charge between 500 and 1,000. Kasi back in my day, nung 2009, 2010, I was doing some side racket as a home care physical therapist. And ang rate ko talaga sa isip ko ay 800. 800 talaga base ko. Hindi na bababa ng 800 kasi I think before merong pang karamihan ng 500, 600 ganyan, tapos pag ang mga sinaserve mong population, mga medyo may kakaya yung mga 1,000 to 1,500, mga ganun. So sabi ko 800, doon tayo sa medyo masa, pero hindi naman tayo lugi. So nagulat ako na marami pa rin nagcha-charge between 500 and 1,000. So that's a decade ago, ganun pa rin ang rate ngayon. Pero kamusta naman ang inflation and all? So sobrang side hustle mo siguro no. So similarly, ganun din yung results for regular visits. Almost 50% said that they charge between 501 and 1,000. Same, ang susunod, yung 1,000 and 1,500. Then, medyo naman natuwa ako dito kasi regular visits, medyo bumaba yung 500 or less, no? Naging 4% na lang. And medyo tumaas yung mga nag-charge between 1,501 and 2,000. Tapos as you can see, merong mga mangilan-ngilan like this one. This is 1 and 1 that charge between 2,500 and 3,000, and there's one also that said that they charge 3,000 pesos and more. So sabi ko, oh okay, at least that's good. Di ba, merong naglakas loob na nag-charge ng malaki. Then meron ding nag-charge ng between 2,000 and 2,500. So mga 5 sila dito. Ayan. So yun. So parang nandito pa rin ang karamihan, nasa between 501 and 1,000 pa rin ang karamihan na charge sa buong bansa or sa respondent ng survey to. So let's divide it naman per region. So unahin natin ang NCR. Okay. So ewan ko kung naharangan to. So sa NCR, if you can see, mas marami sa NCR ang nagcha-charge ng 1,000 to 1,500. Okay? So, is it because city yon? Is it because we are in the city or NCR is a city kaya nagcha-charge karamihan ng ng 1,000 to 1,500? Eh, di ba we're almost we're studying the same thing naman. So, bakit NCR yung iba hindi, parang yung iba hindi naman ganoon? Oh, all right, balikan natin. NCR 1,000 to 1,500 ang karamihan na charge nila evaluation and regular visit. Next would be 500 to 1,000, as you can see. Then 1,500 to 2,000. Okay. Then next is your 2,000. So regular visit, tingnan 2,000, 2,000 and 2,500. So marami-rami. Tapos dito sa regular visit, almost wala nang nag-charge ng 500 or less sa NCR. Okay. So that's good. I mean, that's good kasi dapat hindi man dapat, pero I feel that we should go up na at this time eh. Kasi parang kawawa naman yung PT na you're providing convenience for your patients na by going to their homes. Tapos ang charge mo pa rin between 500 to 1,000. Parang sayang naman yung effort mo, your school, your education, your license, all your effort going there, your time. Tapos you just charge a little over 500 or less than 1,000. Okay. Next, Luzon respondents. Okay, as you can see, more than half of the Luzon respondents, 103 of them, said that they charge between 500 and 1,000. Dito, mas marami pa, 67. Okay. During evaluation, there are some that charge 500 or less. Okay. And treatment-wise, mas kumonte yung nag-charge ng 500 or less. So, tingnan nyo, sa Luzon nang galing yung 3,000 ng charge ng evaluation and treatment. hindi pa sa NCR yun, sa Luzon, somewhere in Luzon. He charges 3,000. He or she charges 3,000 or more in evaluation and treatment. So, I guess, parang pag nakikita ko to with sa treatment, with people charging a little bit more ng 500 or less dito sa evaluation, I feel that they value the evaluation less. Pero isipin nyo, ang dami yung processes na ginagawa sa evaluation kasi you're looking for other stuff. You're assessing for red flags, looking for things to rule out or confirm, 'di ba? Hindi la kasi kasi parang kung sa belief pa lang natin na yung ginagawa natin ay ganito, we undervalue it. Yun din ang nare-reflect natin sa ating pasyente, that we value the evaluation or what we're doing less in that sense. Ang dami nating iniisip, mas gumagana yung utak natin sa evaluation So yeah. So next one, sa Visayas, medyo konti lang yung respondents natin. So hindi natin masyadong makakuha ng clear picture about this. Pero let's just see. So almost 75% said that dito more than ito nasa 80% na said that they charge between 500 and 1,000. Walang nag-charge more than 15. Walang nagsabi that they charge more than 1,500. So natapos na sa 1,500, sa 1,500 ang mga nag-charge sa Visayas. So bakit kaya? Is it because is it because of provincial rate? But we're the same, di ba? Di ba pareho naman bilihin? Tama ba ako? Pareho naman ang bilihin natin. Mas mura pa bilihin sa Visayas. I don't know. I haven't been. So kindly educate me on this. Yan. And the next one is Mindanao. Mas konti yung respondents natin dito. Mas dumami yung I mean, they equally pareho yung charge nila for evaluation and regular visit. Marami rin nag-charge ng 500 pesos or less sa kanila, sa mga sumagot sa survey sa Mindanao. Okay. So, I asked them why or what are the factors that they considered when they thought about their base rate. Again, base rate is what you think your rate is before any factors come into play. Nung time ko, I was thinking, again, that I would charge 800, yun na yung base rate ko. I would increase based on location and based on the effort that I would exert during that session. So yun yung akin mindset back then. So for our respondents, ang priority nila, ang pinakamalaking pinakamadalas na factor would be the location of practice. Location of practice meaning kung saan sila nagpa-practice, sa city ba, sa province ba, rural area, urban area, suburban ba. So yun ang location of practice. So next, most of them chose this also, what they think is appropriate. So kung tingin nila okay na tong rate na to, then yun ang gagawin nila. Third factor for their base rate is their education and knowledge. I think if they consider how much they spent for their tuition, kung how much they value their license, their education, so yun yung pang third. So the rest, ito na yung pagkakasunod-sunod. The next would be the tools and equipment that they have that they potentially can bring with them. Next is how much they value their time. And next, what the market rate is, meaning yung how much other physical therapists charge in their area. Their years of experience, then population or sector that they serve. So are they serving class A and B, C, D, and E, or F? So ito na yung mga hindi masyadong factor or konti lang yung pumili. Rate that their clinic or rehab has. Kasi some PTs would say, would get their patients for home care from their facility. So hindi nila ilalayo yung rate. Tataasan lang nilang konti para hindi naman mabigat doon sa pasyente. Minsan ganoon din ang thinking ng mga PT para hindi na lumayo yung pasyente sa kanila. And what their friends say, workshop seminars that they attended, certifications that they have, some answered patient factors like anong case ng mga patient, kung meron bang comorbidities. Pero I was asking really here kung wala pang, for base rate, and wala pang factors outside of what they thought of. Siguro ano lang, siguro for these respondents, wala silang base rate. They really consider the rates of their charge or price based on what the patient has. Lastly, transportation. So, yun nga, uh, how much they would spend. Okay. Medyo surprised ako dito kasi I thought workshops and certifications that they have would be a little bit higher. I thought that many people would choose that kasi you spend time and your money and your effort in your workshops and seminars and certifications to increase your skills and supposed skills and your knowledge. So, dapat i-take that also into your consideration kasi dapat bentahin mo yun eh. You've been certified, you've attended the seminar, you know more, you have this, supposed updated mindset and skill set. So, I thought many people would choose that pero parang hindi rin pala naging factor yun, no? So, yun. Next would be factors that increase their rates. Ito yung mga kunwari nakita na nila ano yung mga kinoconsider nila to increase their rate for home care pag ayun nga. So primary first one, most of them chose travel time or distance from me. Siyempre, they would consider the time that they would spend traveling to the patient, the gas money that they would spend, or the fare or commute money that they would spend going to to their patients. So, yun naman talaga dapat ang primary rate, primary factor mo din eh. Kung malayo yung pasyente, syempre ano ka, consider mo yan, mag-increase ka ng rate mo. Or if the patient doesn't want that, then you can refer that to other colleagues. Pero sabihin mo ba, sayang naman eh, they increase ko na lang ng rate. Next is complexity of case, which I also considered back then. Then the third one, number of body areas to be treated. So, yeah. So the next reasons are this: the amount of effort to be exerted during treatment, kung kailangan ba ng max assist, kaya patatayuin mo ba, palalakarin mo ba. So, yun. So, next is time that I will spend with patients. So, minsan, kinoconsider nila yung tatagal ba ako ng 30 minutes dito, tatagal ba ako ng 1 hour, tatagal ba ako ng 2 hours, neuro patient, palalakarin ko, padadapain ko, magpipiroms kami, mag-aarons, magbabalance, mga ganun. Next is equipment I need to bring. Kung magdadala ba ako ng, may sarili ba akong, wobble board, dadala ako ng ergo machine, dadala ba ako ng, dadala ba ako ng resistance bands, resistance tubes, dumbbells, ankle weights, yan. Next, patients, families capacity to pay more. Nilagay ko lang yun just in case, pero meron din pumili. And lastly, patient's primary diagnosis for referral. So konti lang pumili nun eh, yung primary referral. So, kasi parang hindi mo na i-consider yung diagnosis nila kasi yun eh, kikitain mo talaga siya for that eh. So I guess yun yung reasoning kung bakit konti lang pumili. No? Okay, so next is, I think this is one of the biggest issues in home care is to give discounts eh. Kasi ikaw yung nag-handle ng rate mo, ikaw yung nag-handle ng singilan. So medyo tayo dun eh, no? Tawag dito, uncomfortable tayo sa mga ganyan. Most of the respondents chose as their top factor in giving discounts yung patients or patient's family's ability to pay. So if they feel that the patient or their family can't pay that much, then they could consider giving them some discount or leeway. No. Second would be the patient is a family member or a friend. So it's a perk to have a physical therapist as your family member or friend kasi sometimes they don't charge you, sometimes they charge you family rate, no? Third one is simplicity of case. So kung hindi naman ganun kahirap, hindi mo kailangan mo ng ganun karaming pag-iisip. So mas maluwag sa loob ng isang PT na magbigay ng discount. So next would be patient's location or distance from me. So kung malapit naman yung pasyente, bakit ko pa kaya pwede naman na mag-discount kasi on the way naman or something like that. And if patient ask for a discount. So if you don't ask, you don't get. So marami siguro talagang pasyente or family na patient that will ask for discount. So next is patient is a friend or family of a friend or family member. So medyo second or third degree na ng acquaintance to. 7, referral source. So ito yung pag nag-refer sa iyo ay dun sa pasyente ay friend mo or your boss or your other patient or a doctor that you support or a doctor friend. Next is number of session projected. So some people would also take that in consideration. Kung 10 sessions naman, baka pwede kang bigyan ng discount in regular visits. Or kung may 12 sessions naman kami, guaranteed, isang bagsakan na bayad, bigyan ko ng discount, pwede naman. And lastly, someone answered government mandated discounts. So this is kind of tricky, no? Or not. Siguro i-discuss natin next time yan. Kasi government mandated discounts, important yun eh. For tax purposes. But I'm gonna have a different live episode for this. Marami rin akong tanong sa ganito eh. Okay. So, for frequency, na-curious lang ako. So, I was curious on how many days in a week do physical therapists allot to see home care patients. So, most of them, almost half of them would say that they allot 3 to 4 days in a week to do home care. And the next one would be 1 to 2 days. Okay? And more than half of them said that they have home care visits or home care racket in a week between that they would have like 1 to 5 sessions. So almost siguro kung gagawin nilang 1 per day, pwede 1 for each day, parang ganon. So medyo okay na naman yun, no? Parang if you're gonna do 1 to 2 days or 3 to 4 days, at least may pahinga ka pa rin, no? Gulat ako dito. Some people said that they have home care. They do home care 7 days in a week. So ito probably yung full-time home care PTs. Okay. Alright. And lastly, na-curious din ako bakit nila ginagawang mag-home care kung may full-time na sila. Kasi, di ba I ask, what are their full-time jobs or saan sila nag-work na setting? Primary reason that they said that why they're doing home care visits or home care sessions is because their regular job is not enough to pay the bills and living expenses. How sad is that, di ba? Yun din kasi yung reason ko kung bakit ako pumunta ng US. So yun, di ba? Parang medyo nakakasad na you have to have a second job or you have to hustle just to make ends meet, no? Yun. You get your regular job for the benefits, but it's not enough. You have to hustle pa. Okay, number 2, most of them say that they would just like to have a side hustle. Gusto lang nila. Gusto lang na bakit. Third, they said that they're saving up for something big or they're paying for a big purchase. Yung iba nag-side hustle, nag-home care kasi gusto nila magbakasyon or gusto nilang pumunta somewhere, bumili ng something or magsa-sale na sa Lazada or Shopee or ganyan or nagpapatayo ng bahay or nag-iipon for a CEU course na international, yung mga ganyan. Yun. I know someone that really hustle ng home care sa Pilipinas that mas malaki pa yung umabot pa yung yung sweldo nila sa home care mas malaki pa kaysa dun sa regular job nila. So, yun talaga, hustle talaga yan. Alright, next one is that's their main source of income. Probably for those who are full-time home care physical therapists. Number 5, my regular job is enough, but they want to earn extra, probably for investment, for leisure, for other, luho. Next is I'm just doing someone a favor. Yung sa akin dati nung nag-home care ako, favor din yun kasi one of my professors asked me if I do home care kasi she has a friend that needs PT at home. So yun. So I was doing someone a favor back then. Next is I'm preparing to transition from regular job to doing home care full time. 8, nakakatuwa yung 8 kasi some of them are very altruistic reasons na they would say that they're doing it for the convenience of the patient, or some said that it's my purpose. Yung mga ganun. Or because I love PT and I want my patients to have access to quality care. Diba? Or my patient is bedridden. Yung mga ganun. So parang they do home care because for the patient, not because of what their personal reasons are, but because they have a patient that needs it. No? So may ganun pala. Then lastly, work and career reasons. Yung iba kasi, they just want to stay in the game. They're not actively in patient care, but they still want to be to dip their toes on patient care. So they do some home care on the side. Some of them would said that so that they can still practice PT. Some of them said that gusto nilang bumalik sa PT. Siguro nawala sila for some time and slowly they want to go back to physical therapy practice. Kaya sila nag-go home care. So yun. So that's it. That's the result of the home care survey na ginawa natin last 2 weeks ago, or that started last June to July 13, I guess. So what do you think about that? Does that say something about home care rates in your area? Medyo nag-reflect ba? Or would you say na you charge higher than that? Would you say you charge lower than that? Kasi maraming factors no? Pero we're not really sure kung ano talaga ang situation sa Philippines in terms of rates or earnings of physical therapists unless we do really a thorough market research from north to south para may idea tayo kung ano talaga ang sitwasyon ng PT sa ating bansa, no? Pero hopefully this would start a conversation na bakit nga ba ganun ang rate natin ngayon? Bakit nasa between 500 to 1,000 pa rin? Ganun na ang rate 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So, we'll see. So, hopefully, that could spark some questions, that could start some conversations. I will publish in a PDF form yung results so that anyone and everyone can access that. I will do that this week. So yun. If you guys have any questions, if you have any topics that you want me to talk about, or people that you want me to guest in the podcast, you can send me a private message or email me in ptmealpodcast@gmail.com. So thank you everyone for watching, and let's keep on advocating for our profession and thinking out of the box. And let's be kind always. Thank you for watching. Until next time, have a good day, everyone.